With just a few more weeks until the release of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, we've been busy spending time with the latest entry in Monolith Soft's epic action RPG series. And you may be relieved to hear, it's more than living up to our lofty expectations thus far. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 introduces us to Ionios, a war-torn world where the warriors of two factions, Kevez and Agnes, battle each other in an endless cycle of all-out destruction. These warriors are fully committed to their roles in life, unwavering in the belief that they are born from Aeonius' queen and destined to serve by her, fighting constantly through the 10 years, or terms, that make up their short and brutal existences, at which point they'll return to her embrace through a ceremony known as homecoming, if they're lucky enough to even make it that far. It's a bleak existence, and the opening chapter of the game does a fantastic job in setting the scene, introducing us first to Noah, Lanz, and Uni, three Kevez soldiers who dutifully fight alongside one another across battle-blasted landscapes where enormous mechs lay waste to countless enemies on either side. As they fight and destroy their foes, they leech the very life energy out of the husks that remain, each fighter's soul being sucked upwards into their enemy's flame clock, huge machines that take stock of just how many victims their side has claimed in battle. Every fighter on the battlefield is linked to these flame clocks through an iris device, and as Noah puts it, they must fight to live and live to fight in order to ensure they keep their clock ticking over. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 wastes no time in flinging you straight into the mix. Boots on the ground and right into battle as it methodically explains its various combat mechanics. Fans of the series will already know what to expect at the outset here, and early on, we're introduced to the returning concepts of auto-attacking, which functions just as it did in the game's predecessors. Get in range of an opponent and engage in a fight, and your characters will take timed swings to do damage. You'll need to get used to the timings and rhythm of these attacks in order to make use of your arts, which are assigned to the X, Y, and B buttons. Arts recharge over time, and you'll need to unleash them in rhythm with your auto attacks in order to perform them properly. You also need to take your position into account here, with back attacks needing to be performed from the back, side attacks from the side, and so on if you want to fully benefit from their damage output. Pull off some break, topple, daze, and launch combos that see your foes opened up for maximum damage, and charge up a character-specific talent art that really lets loose the big guns. On top of this, you'll need to take stock of the fighting lines projecting from foes that indicate whether or not you've drawn an enemy's aggro, as indicated by a red-colored line showing that you have the full and undivided attention of the soldier or beast you're currently tussling with. So far, everything feels in line with the series' gameplay mechanics, but of course, there are many layers to be added as the adventure progresses. Just as you're getting a hang of the basic flow of combat in the opening hour or two, Noah, Uni, and Lanz are sent out on another routine mission from Colony 9, but this time it's one that takes an entirely unexpected turn, a turn that throws into question everything these characters believe in and stand for. We won't go into too much detail here, as it's really best you enjoy this roller coaster ride of a story unspoiled, but if you've been keeping up with the official preview content drops for the game, you'll already have gotten a glimpse of the game's fancy new Interlink system. The power of the Ouroboros Stone enables Noah and Mio to become one being, transforming into a huge new form that's fit to take on the biggest and baddest brawls the enemy can throw at them. The Interlink mechanic immediately transforms the action here, giving you screen-shaking attacks to pull off, and tasking you with building up your Interlink level, a gauge on the left side of the screen that can be powered up through 3 stages. Once in Ouroboros form, the basic flow of attacks and how you deploy them remains much the same, with your auto attack rhythm, arts, and positioning are all important. However, you'll also have to watch your Interlink gauge as you fight, because you'll need to drop out of the Interlink mode before overheating or suffering a penalty that sees the ability locked off for an extended period of time. Every time you assume Ouroboros form, you're on a timer, and you need to think ahead and plan your strategy while considering when you should transform in order to maximize its benefits. Now, of course, Ouroboros transformations aren't the only new mechanic here. Not by a long shot. Not only can you now directly order your squad to attack a particular foe, follow your lead, or have a preference for a certain combo type as you fight, you're also now free to change characters at any point during traversal, and more crucially, during battles. This opens up a ton of strategies based around the game's 3 base class types: healer, fighter, and defender. And by earning XP during battle, you'll slowly unlock the ability to use other characters' classes, meaning the likes of Noah, who starts out as a fighter, can switch to a healer or defensive subclass, and the game actively promotes that you switch out and level up in each and every unlockable class with all of your characters, in order to maximize your options in battle. Now, to add to all of this, Xenoblade Chronicles 2's blade system has been replaced by lots of unlockable heroes who you'll meet and discover during your adventures. Every hero represents a brand new class with all new skills and abilities, each of which can then be freely switched between by your party members once you make enough progress. It makes for an incredibly flexible, fun, and in-depth combat system that, even in the early stages of the game, gives you a ton of options to play with as you dig into battles. Switching instantaneously between players to draw aggro, heal up your party, or attack your foes head-on, utilizing special hero skills, leveling up classes, and interlinking in order to bring the smackdown on huge boss enemies is hugely addictive, flashy, and fast-paced stuff. And unlike some aspects of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, everything here feels wonderfully streamlined so far, even as it piles on more and more layers. And if any of the aspects ever get to be a bit too much, there are even detailed VR training missions tucked away in the game's menu where you can learn all about the finer points of combat or brush up on some particular mechanics that got you bamboozled. And to add on to all of this, there's so much more cool stuff added into the combat mix down the line that we just can't talk about quite yet. But just know, there really is a lot to get excited about here. All in all, from what we've seen so far, this is shaping up to be an epic Xenoblade adventure that's superior in every way to its predecessors. With a deep and satisfying combat system that explains itself more clearly, crisp visuals, jaw-dropping cutscenes, incredible vistas, and tons of variety in its locations and enemies. It's been a smooth and stutter-free performance experience for us so far as well, even when battles get super heated, which very often they will. It's also great to see the regional UK accents back in this latest entry, and the banter between your squad mates really is all the better for it. There are some absolutely excellent swear words thrown around here, and some of the lighter moments really are genuinely funny as a result. Now, we can't really say much more than that at this point, but what we can tell you is that we're a good ways into the adventure in preparation for our full review later in the month, and everything from that exciting new combat system to the twisting, turning storyline, superbly written characters, and top-notch world building is making for an emotional third entry in the series that's hitting all the right notes so far. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 drops on Nintendo Switch on July 29th. Feel free to let us know in the comments down below your anticipation for this game. Let us know if you've played any of the past entries or if you're going to be diving into this one, making it your very first Xenoblade game. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, then why don't you interlink with that subscribe button, making you the ultimate being, but just for good measure, you may want to ring that notification bell as well so that way you get notified when our review goes up later this month. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you to PJ for spending some time with Xenoblade Chronicles 3. More time in the future, I'm sure, though. I'm Xeon from Nintendo Life. Stay safe out there, and we will see you all next time.